don't understand press conferences. I don't understand protests, and I don't understand press conferences. And what I don't understand about these events, what I don't understand is, what do they solve? When y'all do press conferences or y'all do protests, what exactly does it solve? They protested in Los Angeles. Didn't mean anything. They protested at George Floyd's situation. Didn't do anything. They protested illegal migrants or to leave illegal migrants. And you know what the worst thing about Chicago? Let me tell you the worst thing about Chicago. Chicago is so bad because Chicago was supposed to be about not necessarily caring about taking in a bunch of illegal migrants anyway. And so what Chicago did was they seen a bag. They seen an opportunity. And so the only reason why Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, New York, and Houston all banded together and said, hey guys, we're the sanctuary cities of the Americas. The only reason that they did it is because they wanted to get money from the federal government. They wanted to play along with Biden just in case he won or Kamala Harris won so they can continue to get the money train. They wanted that community organization money so that they can continue to finesse. And they wanted to just continue to stay in power. And so they thought that they were playing the game. That's the only reason that these people became the sanctuary cities of Americas. And they was taking in hordes and migrants. And they was putting together the programs in order to try to fund it. And all of these people got a lot of money. And so the money was just flowing all around, right? And nobody tripped. Everybody had a good time. Everybody got that COVID money. Everybody got that pandemic money. COVID, pandemic spending, all of that stuff. Yep, Houston was a part of not this current Houston. See, you didn't know that, did you? Lynette Cabins, yes, Houston was a part of the Sanctuary City Captain Americas, but the only reason that the Houston mayor didn't get any visibility is because the Houston mayor had already got voted out, and y'all got a new mayor because the Houston mayor got ensnared with all of those different scandals, including the water department down in Houston. Azriel says, Anton, correction, Houston isn't a sanctuary city. Governor Abbott banned them in the whole state years ago. Mayor Turner signing that was strictly a performance. Listen, I go by the signatures. Azriel, listen, we can say whatever we want to say. I seen the Houston mayor in Washington, D.C. when Biden was the president of the United States of America, and they were all united together to band together to make sure that they sought their alliance. And y'all keep forgetting that Houston is a liberal city. Houston is blue. Texas is red. Houston is blue. Texas is red. Houston is blue. Houston signed that paperwork just like everybody else. Houston signed the papers like everybody else. This is Brandon Johnson right after J.B. Pritzker. And J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson don't even like each other. J.B. Pritzker just hit up Brandon Johnson and said, no, I'm not giving you no money towards your schools. Deal with it. Brandon Johnson just was asking, he said, hey, JB, now you know that you owe us $1 billion, right? No, $1 billion, not $1 million, $1 billion. And our kids are suffering. Now, I know that I should have allocated that money, the illegal migrant money. I know I should have allocated that towards the schools. However, we're in dire times here in Chicago. So if you can send us $800 million, that would be helpful. J.B. Pritzker says, nope, F you. No, I'm not sending a dime. I'm not sending you one red cent. And they hate each other so much, but somehow, some way, they always coming together to do a press conference against Trump.
All of the elected leaders here, the community business and faith.
The community businesses, all of my elected leaders here, the community businesses, I've spoken to you, and I want you to know that we're here for you. We're here for you. We know that the taco vendors and come on, man. There's nobody, not one person that I hate more as a mayor, not as a person, but as a mayor. There's nobody that I despise more than Brandon Johnson right now. He really believes he's Martin Luther King.
Leaders that are joining us today. Many Chicagoans were shocked and appalled to see videos of heavily armed, masked federal agents in our streets yesterday. The reality is,
make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. The best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month.
This stunt has nothing to do with public safety. This is about politics, money, and power. The president is using his militarized force the exact way he intended to advance his political goals. He wants to militarize our cities, whether that's through ICE or through the National Guard or the United States Army or armed forces. He wants to provoke conflict so that he can use this as a pretext to send even more federal agents into our city. What we saw yesterday was an absolute disgrace. Families, visitors, everyday Chicagoans were out enjoying our city, and they were met with dozens of heavily armed federal agents aiming to strike fear in our communities. They targeted street vendors and construction workers.
Yeah, they were at they were targeting street vendors and construction workers.
Just trying to make an honest living. They made a little girl act as a translator.
They literally hated Texas because Texas was standing up against illegal migrants coming into the country. Now, all of a sudden, they're the advocates for illegal migrants inside of Chicago. Y'all don't even get this type of support as citizens in Chicago. They fighting so hard for everybody. They are fighting relentlessly for people that don't have or add any value to the city whatsoever. They want to turn these people into voters and into citizens so bad. Do y'all know that they was working towards getting housing for illegal migrants? That they were working with the churches to build housing so that illegal migrants can own property inside of Chicago, and that don't bother y'all? Some of y'all don't even own your own property, and it was people that came over here to buy a house, because I remember, and I did a whole video and a live stream on it. Let me see if I can find it.
As they took her family into custody. These are heartbreaking scenes that have nothing to do with making our city safer. My question to these masked, heavily armed individuals is simple. What could you possibly need an automatic weapon for? The only plausible explanation is that their aim is not to carry out their duties, but instead strike fear in our communities. If you are following the law, if you are in accordance with the Constitution, if you have a criminal warrant, then there is no reason to cover your face. This comes on the heels of the revolution.
This was a year ago, right before Trump got into office.
You ready?
It was a homecoming they had only dreamed of until today. Today, the Gomez
Venezuelan migrants move into new home in Chicago. They were about to take over your neighborhoods. I remember this video. I literally had it saved because I knew one day I was going to come back to it.
Gomez family officially welcomed friends to their new home in North Austin.
Sí, es mi sueño.
Gabriel Gomez tells us it's his dream. This is what he wanted for his children. It is the first home for this family of four, and it is the first time they have lived in anything bigger than one bedroom for 8 years.
¿Cuál es la reacción? Nosotros estamos muy felices.
Eyuveles Rengal says they are.
Don't even speak English. Already were homeowners. And y'all were sitting there talking about it's the Republicans' fault. I want to remind you of what was happening in the Chicago area.
Very happy, and this is an important step for their family. Originally from Venezuela, they worked and worked in food service as an auto mechanic, delivering food, factory work. When they first arrived in Chicago in 2022 as new arrivals,
They just got to Chicago in 2022 and crawled over the border, caught a bus up to Chicago, and they was owning a new home with wood floors, flat screen TVs, multiple bedrooms, and an all brick house. And they were doing ribbon cuttings. And this was happening all over. All over. How do you buy a home and you don't even speak English in the United States of America? You just got here in 2022. Some of y'all sitting here still making videos on TikTok talking about the rent too high. They homeowners, boy. Just got here in 2022. Can't even speak English and they homeowners. I'm going to just remind you as Brandon Johnson does this speech. We're going to go back to Brandon Johnson. But I want to remind you of exactly what was happening because I know a lot of y'all got short memories. But I remember how dusty you were. I remember. Because I remember y'all whining and y'all got short memories. But I remember you whining. You said, oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh, inflation is so high. And oh my God, there are migrants everywhere and they're sleeping inside of the airports. They wouldn't even let you fly, but it was migrants sleeping in the airport. They were in the Boston airport. They were in the Chicago airport. They were everywhere. They were everywhere. I remember Chicago was overran so much that the police department, they were sleeping on the precinct floors in the police department. I'm not going to ever let you forget because you got a short memory. All of a sudden, Trump is orange man bad. How short of your memory? How short of your memory? But this is what was happening.
landed at Grace and Peace Church. This home is the first of 4 distressed West Side homes the church bought, rehabbed, and sold.
We met them at the bus and they were so distressed and worked through a whole process with them. And now they're stabilizing their own home. It's awesome.
With all of their savings, programs to assist first-time homebuyers, and an individual taxpayer identification number, the Gomez family made their dreams come true.
Que realmente ahorita estamos viendo nuestro sueño americano.
Rengel says, really now is the American dream. Grace and Peace Church plans to sell their other rehabbed homes to other first-time homebuyers of color on the West Side, to hopefully improve the lives of their families and their communities.
They didn't say black people. They say homeowners of color. You know what of color means? Anybody but white. So you can be an illegal migrant. And this is what he meant. Brandon Johnson, the archdiocese, and the faith leaders. This is what he meant when they were trying to get these people to boost the numbers of the community and to make sure that they stay, productive citizens so that they put them on the tax rolls and they pushed you out. They pushed you out. And so now you want to act like, oh, Anton, he's just so hard on everybody. No, I'm hard on the leaders because I've seen his ascent from being a geography teacher to somehow being Martin Luther King, talking about what Trump and them is doing with the prisons and all of this stuff and how they're using this military coup to make sure that they continue to benefit from this inside of the city of Chicago. I remember when Tom Homan first came in and he came to Chicago and he said, listen, guys, I would really want y'all to work with us. This don't have to be a division, but we need to get these violent offenders and these migrants up out of here. And so we got to take care of business, guys. And you know what they did? They spit in his face. They spit in his face and they said, you don't have any jurisdiction here. You don't have any jurisdiction here. And so they spit in his face and now they want to act like they victims. Okay. All right. Now everybody got to go. Now we're not giving you a choice. We're not working with you. We're not trying to figure it out. We're going to make Chicago safe again. Because see, I remember when Mayor Mohawk was giving away y'all homes and working with everybody but y'all in y'all community to ensure that they had sufficient housing. Had to make sure that they have sufficient housing and that they have to have food cards. And everybody should be with food. Who, How many people know who the people are that owned all of these places, the rentals that they were renting in order to get these shelters and the beds, and they made millions of dollars, and the nursing that made tens and hundreds of millions of dollars during the migrant crisis, and all of these different companies, the staffing companies and the food services companies, and they were gouging taxpayers and taking all of y'all money, and then they was getting and building homes for these people. And now y'all want to sit here and act like y'all really support this guy, Anton Daniels of Chicago. I'm the only reason half of y'all even know what's going on in your own city is because I'm bringing visibility to something you otherwise wouldn't have had no insight into. Because see, you was too busy gang banging and worrying and talking and all of this other stuff and typing hard on the internet. And while I was trying to figure out what was going on in these liberal hellholes, you was over there pretending like you was actually doing something for your community. So here we are today in 2025. And now you have ICE agents stopping and arresting squatters and Trinidad members. And now they want to complain about it. Nope. I'm going to continue to remind you because I remember, and I'm going to remind you.
Revelation that was reported on MSNBC that Tom Homan, the so-called border czar, accepted.
All right, here, let's get to the middle.
Republicans just handed $170 billion, a blank check with little to no oversight. The money that Republicans gave to ICE is there's more funding given to ICE in this last budget that has been allocated for police departments at state and local governments in all 50 states, including the District of Columbia combined. Let me say that again. Trump gave his personal militarized force more money than all other local and state police funding combined. And the guy they put in charge of that funding was bought for $50,000 in cash. They are lining their own pockets and the pockets of the executives of a small number of corporations. I've spoken with parents in Pilsen, Little Village, spoken to business owners on Devon Street, elders in Uptown who are too scared to take their children to school. We're losing business, and they're too afraid to even attend church because of their legal status. They're afraid of the...
Sounds like they are illegally here. Hiding is not going to help you. Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when Trump comes for you? Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Nothing, no way. Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? What up? Oh, I want to join somebody's band. Can I be on somebody's band? Can I be with somebody's band?
reckless actions that they have seen. This is not being tough or patriotic. To throw a crying mother to the floor who just wanted to be reunited with her children, it's abominable. It's not law and order to body slam a 79-year-old business owner, an American citizen, for trying to produce the papers of his employees. And there's nothing brave about firing pepper bullets with chemical agents at a Chicago CBS reporter for simply showing up to do her job. Greg Bovino, who spends countless taxpayer dollars on TikTok videos of himself, was in charge of the operation in Los Angeles, where a 15-year-old kid, an American citizen with disabilities, was handcuffed and held at gunpoint by ICE. His family is now suing.
Wait. What do you mean I got to learn the words? All right, let's figure out the words. I didn't never know the words to Bad Boys. Lyrics to Bad Boys. That's the words? That can't be the words. No way that were the words. Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were 8 and had bad traits, you go to school and learn the golden rule. No, that can't be right. Is that right? Let me pull this up. That don't even sound right. It sounds better the way that I said it. Bad boys. All right, so I was wrong. I didn't hear that part. I never heard that part. All I heard was no way. I like my version better. I did not know that they had real lyrics on that part. Did y'all know that? Talking about traits and go to school and bloody rules. So y'all actually had real lyrics. Okay, all right. Okay, I thought it was something different. Well, let's get back to Brandon Johnson. He has things that he wants to say to Trump, guys.
By the time this is over, there will be hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer dollars wasted in settlements related to the excessive use of force and the unconstitutional actions of this administration. So again, let's make this very clear. This is not about public safety. This is not even about
You like my version, Goddess?
This is a continuation of the Trump administration's war on the poor.
I like my version too.
They have cut food assistance. They have cut Medicaid. They have cut violence prevention funding. They have made life harder and more dangerous for poor and working people across this country. They have declared war on poor on behalf of the ultra-rich, and so they can simply funnel our tax dollars to a small handful of billionaires.
No, brother.
So we have to make sure that we continue to show our support for the people of this city and for this country. In closing, at a time when we are cutting hundreds of millions of dollars from healthcare, public health, housing, and defunding public education, manufacturing austerity, I'll say that plainly, the Trump administration is worsening poverty at the same time as declaring war on the poor. This is an untrustworthy, corrupt, and out-of-control administration that is doing everything in their power to foment chaos in our cities. Whether it's in Portland, Los Angeles, or Chicago, we cannot accept the militarization of our cities. We will continue to stand united as a city, as a county, as a state, and local villages to reject any attempts to militarize our cities. I want to be very clear, what we saw this Sunday is not unique. As the governor has indicated, this is happening in villages like Broadview and other places across this country. And so we have to make sure that this is not the last time we express our unified voice to ensure that we protect the interests of all people.